All right, there we go. Back again. And today is a really good one because we're here for the solar panel cleaning mastermind class, episode 2. Today we were going to talk about the history of solar panel cleaning robots, but we're actually going to be talking about rooftop discussions and rooftop safety. So before we get there, before we go any further, let's go ahead and share this out with a few different places. We want to, let's see here, hold on one second. Right here. Go back over here. Hope everybody's having a very, very good day. Right now, I am working on a few things. I've actually been on the I've been on meetings all day long. Been talking to a lot of different people. We have a lot of good stuff that is taking place here. Let me see here because I might actually change my camera and go to my phone, but I think we'll stay like that. We'll stay like this for now because that works out. All right, let me share this on over to the Facebook group and go from there. Let's see here. You're live right there. I have to get a thing for my microphone. I'm probably going to have to turn on my air conditioner too as well because as it's getting just a little bit hot here today. I've been wanting to talk about the rooftop safety because there's a lot of different things that take place in there, but I just want to make sure that it is all good and everybody can hear me for a while. Go ahead and move this just a little bit. Okay. Here, and share this on out to the Facebook. Here we go with the Facebook group, Solar Panel Cleaning Friends. If you're not a part of the Solar Panel Cleaning Friends group on Facebook, I implore you to go ahead and check us out. It is a lot of fun. There's a lot of different pros in there that are always constantly talking about different parts and different elements of solar panel cleaning, whether it be residential, commercial, large-scale utility, robot, rotary brushes, manual, safety to all these degrees. The group is constantly talking about it, so I implore you guys to go check it out. Live right now. Okay, bam. Yeah, maybe a few people will fall in after a while. Okay. I guess let's get going on this. So here's the thing. What initially happened is we were going to be talking about the history of solar panel cleaning robots. That was my idea for today's mastermind class. And before I go any further, let me just go ahead and check on this perspective of how good we sound. I just want to check because last week we had a little bit of problem with the microphone. But now that we are live and we are all good, because I want to get into, again, this is the mastermind class. And what this class is, it's not in place of, say, a certification program or a training program whatsoever. Here in the Solar Panel Cleaning Friends group and in the YouTube channel and well, I guess across the social media platforms, what I'm trying to do is bridge together the academic side with the real world applications. Okay, so it's great to watch a lot of videos. I've seen a lot of videos. I have the ISCA training. I have the solar technologies. I have the OSHA 30-hour. Quite a few different things. I have, aerial lift qualified, all these different type of certificates. Yay, accolades. I don't care about these different things. These are all just different things that you need to have. They're to improve yourself. When I say that somebody has something to teach you, I promise you that somebody else will say it just a little bit differently. This is why I implore all of you, if you have one training program or certification, see the other one. Don't look at one of it like this isn't the Bloods versus the Crips. This is a ridiculous thing of how we've turned solar panel cleaning, that if you have one specific product, one specific brand, or if you're this or you're that you don't do the other thing. That's ridiculous. It's not the Bloods versus the Crips. This is solar panel cleaning, guys. So calm down, relax, and go get some education. I'm today going to be talking about rooftop safety, and I'm talking about rooftop safety because of a post that took place in the group, and we were discussing about specifically a house, and there is a lot of talk about people getting hurt. There's a lot of talk about things that can go wrong. And you know what? You're right. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. So I want to share some real life stories of things that have taken place and how you can stay safe. We're going to talk about there's a whole process here from getting up on the rooftop from the ladder, their perspective of being up on the rooftop and cleaning. There is also other sources, other different outside perspectives that aren't talked about as much. High wires, electricity, this kind of stuff is very dangerous. I'm going to tell a story about a cleaner that got burned by his water-fed pole touching a high wire hot power line and fried literally basically, I think it's like 60% of his body, and was in a hospital for 2 months. I'm also going to talk about how I have fallen off of a ladder. I'm going to talk about real world applications and things that have taken place. And I think by us discussing together these different types of things that have taken place, we can further this education and this discussion about being safe. Am I the person that's going to be teaching everybody's safety? No, don't come to me for that. That's not what I do. If you want, and I don't want to take away from these people, because I implore you, if you haven't, then you need to go over and get full transparency. No, I'm not going to say that. I'll just say this. Listen, I suggest that you do get your certification from Solar Technologies. Of course, I'll say that first because that's where I feel I like it the most. But then again, you need to go over to Steve Williams as well. You need to get his training as well, because what one person says, another person does not. So I want to make this very, very clear that if you only have one training, I suggest you go get both. In addition to that, go get your 30-hour. Go get your OSHA 30-hour. These are things that are very important. So if you think that one thing is good enough, that's totally awesome. But I do suggest getting your OSHA 30-hour. I suggest getting your ISCA certification. I even suggest getting, on top of that, your Solar Technologies. Get all three, and you're going to be much happier about it. But with that, let's talk a little bit about safety on the rooftop. And I want to let you know that I have fallen. There has been things that have taken place. Let's go over some facts. Did you know that it only takes about 8 pounds to break your collarbone? It only takes 8 pounds to break a collarbone. That's insane. That's all it takes. It takes, you know what? You don't get hurt from the, sorry, I got a mustache. If you see me going like this or like this, it's always a mustache hair that's tickling my nose, and it bothers the heck out of me. Okay, real quickly before I go on, give me 1 second, because I just realized out of everything that I took the time to put together, I failed to get the plug for my computer. So if you can give me just 1 second, I will be right back. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm going to take me down for a second. No, I'll leave it up. Okay, hold on. Okay, there we go. That's much better. Okay, so listen, here's the thing, as I've actually came close to getting hurt quite a few times. I want to tell the first time about what I want to do is start off with talking about ladders. But what I would like to do is actually share some stories with you, some people that have gotten hurt. And if this is possible, let me see if I can get this set up here. But there was a man who actually got hurt. Let's see if I can get that right. Now I'm going to share this with you, and I'm hoping that when I share it with you, you'll be able to hear the volume. So that's what we're going to try to do here right now. Have you heard the story of Russ? I believe it's Russ Montgomery. Have you heard of how he got hurt and how he fell? I believe his first, he was up 30 feet in the air and got pushed back 10 feet and dropped. Let's listen to this guy right here, because this is kind of actually important to hear these different things. And we're not only going to be talking about this story. I'm going to tell you about a story about an individual, an actual cleaner who was up cleaning solar panels with some people, and he had a crew member that fell through a skylight. I'm going to talk about the times where I've slipped off of 2 ladders, one ladder that just went underneath me, and one time where I basically was up on a extension ladder and it collapsed right on me. Yes, this has happened. I am going to see, we're not going to just talk about, hey, don't do this, this is wrong, you shouldn't do this. We're actually going to talk about things that have taken place. So let me pull this up here, because there is a story that I would like to share with you guys. Okay, I got to find what it says. I've got to share the whole screen in order to. I don't want to do that. I want to share the tab so that you guys can actually hear this. Hold on a second here. Why? This guy was up on a scissor lift. And man, when I say you want to follow directions, you want to make sure you're doing things the right way, this is no joke. Come on, where is it? That's not it. It's gonna make me really bummed if I cannot find it. And so I will just, okay, you know what? That's okay. Forget it. Don't even worry about it. So this guy is on a job site. First, he wakes up in the morning, and this is important. I think this is the most important part that we need to talk about when it comes to safety with our industry in any kind of these positions, whether it be residential, commercial, long scale utility. So this guy who was actually power washing this day gets to the job. I want to back up in the morning because we all do basically the same thing. We wake up, we get our coffee, we tell our family goodbye, we kiss our wife and our children goodbye, and we say, hey, thank you, love you, and we move on. And we go to work, and I will say it's selfish not to take safety into consideration. And I want to add to this, do not make the mistake of taking a picture from another cleaner that they're doing their job and assume that you know what they're doing. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. That is not right. Don't take that perception and take that on with you because it's not going to work out. Instead, just believe in yourself and believe in the training and the knowledge that you have and the skill that you have. Okay. That's what you need to focus on. Don't focus on what others are doing, what other cleaners are doing, because that's really none of your business. All right. And if someone chooses to do something unsafe, that's on them. There are a lot of people that choose to point out very small things and then think that they know exactly what's taking place. Trust me when I say they do not. They have no clue. So this Russ guy, he gets up, he wakes up, he gets his coffee, kisses his wife and kids goodbye, and he goes off to work. And he gets to the job, and he's cleared to do the power washing. They're going to be up on a knuckle boom lift, and they're going to be 30 feet up in the air looking at this building. Next to this building, as they're cleaning, there is a flat area for them to get onto. And so they decide, and it's wrapped around, it has like bars and stuff like that for protection. And he decides to go ahead and get close. He's going to hop over the rails. Actually, he doesn't hop over the rails of the cherry picker. This is up in the bucket at this point. He goes underneath one of them. You know how you're sitting up on that bucket, and you have the top rail, you have a middle one, and you have the side rails going down, and then you have anchor points for your harness. This guy decides to go ahead and hop over it. He unhooks his harness, which, by the way, is one of the stupidest things you can do. Now, I want to go over a few things that I believe that you should have with you in your arsenal of safety of PPE to ensure that you are staying protected. But anyways, he unhooks his harness, he unhooks the tether line, and decides that he's going to crawl under the cage of the cherry picker onto the bars of the flat platform that is 30 feet high in the air. Now, this is a commercial one. You're probably not going to get in a situation like this with look at that. I brought over my thing over here and never plugged it in. Oh, this could be bad. If this shuts off right now, the whole system, the whole thing would go down. Hold on. Bam. Bam. All good. Okay. So he reaches on over, grabs the bar, and he's now standing on top of it. This is ridiculous. And as he's trying to reach back for the cherry picker, trying to grab, come on, get over here. And the other employees sitting up there, they had two guys up in the basket. The other guy's like, what are you doing? Just then, by chance, something takes place. Something snaps. Electrical, there's a problem with the cherry picker. Aerial lift decides to go bam and rushes forward, pushes into him, and he's knocked 10 feet back and then 30 feet down. Now, as he's dropping, he doesn't know what's up or down. Let's be clear. It is not the fall that will kill you. It is the ground when you stop. Now, when you hit that ground, you may feel okay for a second, but let me explain something to you. Your insides, it takes very little for them to bust and to burst. And so it does everything in you is just as soon as you hit the ground, it's going boom and hitting you. And that's a problem. There now you got internal injuries. In addition to that, what kind of hard hat are you wearing? And I've got to be truthful. This is something that I don't do a lot of videos when I'm on the rooftop lately anymore. and I should, because we switched to wearing hard hats because it is a big risk and it scares me highly to hurt your head. If you do not know, I had epilepsy from the ages of 18 to 34. So brain injuries are something that I know about and that I care about. Although there's a lot of talk that, hey, this person doesn't do this person does that. You don't know what one person does from the other. I will say that hard hats are important. There was a guy, David Colby, he's still in the group. He's a firefighter, an amazing person and a solar panel cleaner. He had a helmet that he was wearing that had a full strap on it, and it was awesome. That's the kind of strap that I want. See if I can get this like this. I just want to chill. Whew, guys. As he drops, he hits the ground so hard with the back of his head that it knocks him out. I mean, he's out of it. And for a moment, he feels a wave of comfort going over him. First, he feels pain, and then he feels some comfort. And all of a sudden, it doesn't hurt. Now, these are word from what he says in the story. And in my opinion, he was getting ready to die. Man, God was right there talking to him. God was like, bro, you're about to die. That was a stupid thing. And it was a stupid thing that he did. Then he started feeling hands on his chest. That was the guy, his coworker that was with him. He walked all the way downstairs and came down and started to help him, started to give him CPR and all that. And then we get him off to the hospital. That man lives the rest of his life in a wheelchair. Now, he was young when he did this. You know, his kids have grown up. And as his wife was sitting there in this interview, she talks about how her husband never got to teach their son how to ride a bike. This man was a runner, but then, and just like his father, his son became a runner, but unfortunately, the father could not participate in that, could not go running with him. They couldn't go fishing like they used to. They used to go duck hunting. They couldn't go duck hunting because of that one moment. It only takes a split second. Again, it's not the fall that's going to hurt you. It's when you hit the ground. So, here's what I want to say. Going from that, I want to talk about some actual stuff that has happened to me. I can tell you this. I am a big supporter of the ladder stabilizers, and I'm a supporter of the ladder stabilizer because I've been in an issue where the ladder slides from you. So we're going to talk about two stories real quick here. Now, first, I was up on a roof. It was the first story to the second story. We were up on the second story. We were harnessed in. We were all good. Everything was good. We have all the PPE, and don't go short on this. I know there's a lot of people that say, hey, it's expensive. There's this, it gets in the way, but it really, really, really does not. And there's no price that you can put on safety. I'm very respectful about talking about safety. I tend to stay away from it because there's other individuals that want to focus their time in this. So I'm very respectful towards what they do, although it isn't reciprocated. But I am very respectful of those that do this because I don't want to step on anybody's toes, and I want to let people do what they do. I don't believe in selling out or chasing after anything. I do my thing, man. I'm cool with that, and I think everybody else should. The thing about it is on this particular day, we're up on this second story, and what happens is we realize there's something down below. Now, I have to let you know that from the first story to the second story, we neglected to put on the ladder stabilizer. We neglected, and I should say mainly me. When I say we, that's actually BS. Okay, I'm the guy out there. It's my responsibility to make sure things are done. So if I have any kind of cleaners with me, any kind of employees, if there's anybody helping you, guess what? That's your responsibility to make sure that they are taken care of. Obviously, you need to make sure that everything is proper. The ladder. I did not use a ladder stabilizer. I did not connect the ladder to the scaffold of the house. We didn't do any of that. We didn't use the C-clamp. We didn't do any of the things that I normally do. Now, this was years ago, maybe 3 or 4. So there's a lot that I've learned in between there. But suffice it to say, as I stepped over from the second story onto the ladder, I felt it move. I felt it come back. See if I can sit back and turn this up a little bit. Okay, so now I can sit back. Nope, let's keep me here. Okay, so I felt that. I felt I felt the ladder slip. And I had one foot on it, and the other foot was just coming over. And just as I put my second foot on the rung, that ladder slipped and I went straight down. Now, luckily, it was only maybe 3.5 to 4 feet, maybe. But 3.5 to 4 feet is very, very scary. Again, it takes just about 8 pounds to break your collarbone. There's nothing there, man. You can get really hurt. I don't care how strong you are, how big you are, how amazing you think you are. You're not. And trust me, I know there's a lot of big-headed individuals in every industry that think they are better than everybody, bigger than everybody, smarter than everybody. And the truth of the matter is, nobody really is. Everybody's all the same, and there's just a bunch of dumbasses. Truth. Quote me on that. So on that day, I was being a dumbass, and I dropped down, and I believe it's, let me see here. I can feel it because it's on my finger now, right here. Very rough, but I had a cut right here. Luckily, that's all that happened, but I was bleeding immensely on that moment, and I had to get down, and the customer heard it. They came out and asked what happened. Of course, the customer that I had for years and years and years, there was not a problem whatsoever. But they gave me some bandages, and they were really, really worried, as they should be. If you have anybody that's up on your roof and they fall, what's the first thing you think? Fuck, this person's going to sue me. I got to watch my mouth. This is live. We got to be stop cussing, but sometimes I like to be straightforward and I don't like to hold back. I think that's a bunch of BS. I hurt myself that day. That was dumb. Now, luckily, I'm smart enough to never put any of my workers or employees in the in this type of situation. Although there are plenty of people that do, that put themselves in the situation, and the people that work with them. Go home to your family. This man that fell 30 feet, and again, this is a different situation, but still, it's relatively close. He lost out with his family. Don't do that. The point of what we do is to make money, to take care of our family, not to be cool on social media. No one really cares about Facebook. No one really cares about your LinkedIn. Nobody really cares about your videos. No one cares about your program. No one cares. I mean, it really, none of that matters. That, let's be truthful, only matters to us in our stupid, small little world, which is this big in comparison to everything else. And that's the only reason why we do this, so that we can go home to the rest of our life. So at the end of the day, go home, allow your people to go home, and don't be selfish. It is selfish to not be safe. What you need to do in these situations, and trust me, you learn from it. If anybody's been doing this long enough, you're going to come into a situation it's going to be dangerous. Moving on. I had this guy that pretty much my mentor that brought me into this industry many years ago, who was up on a lift, and he had a water-fed pole fully extended. And with this water-fed pole, he was cleaning some carport panels. There wasn't a whole lot of back then rotary brushes and robots. This was kind of at the beginning of robots even coming out, so no one really even used them. And rotary brushes, it was still a year away from when we got our solar tech. So, we were using manual brushes up there. And this guy was up there with a manual brush and a pole. And he was on top of the scissor lift, which, by the way, if you're going to use a scissor lift, make sure it's a 4-wheel drive gas lift. Don't use any electric lifts for any kind of solar panel cleaning outdoors whatsoever. But anyways, he's up there. He's got the pole. He's cleaning, scrubbing, doing his thing. And then there's a guy down below. And instead of dropping the lift, dropping the bucket, he decides to go like this, fully extended, and hand down the pole. Unfortunately, the other end of the pole touched a a power line, and because of it, it was hot. It burned the hell out of him, electrocuted him, burned 60% of his body, and immediately he had to go to the hospital, as somebody would have to in that situation. And he was in there for quite a while. That's dangerous, man. That is dangerous. Now, let's also move a little bit forward. There's another cleaner who is working up on top of a rooftop with a bunch of different cleaners, his workers up there, and they're cleaning roof-mounted. These are commercial roof-mounted panels, and that's not that hard. They were able to clean them with brushes because it's right there, and it was only like 400 or 500, and they had about like 4 or 5 people working with them. The dangers increase with the more people that you have. Know that. One individual was stepping around and accidentally walked back into a skylight, dropped it, and fell I think it was like between 20 and 30 feet. That's going to hurt. Bro, that can put you out of commission for the rest of your life. I just told you a story about a man who dropped 30 feet and was in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. This can happen. So how do we stay safe? How do we recognize? It's the thing I like to say. Recognize, analyze, and resolve. My wife likes to call that rawr, but that's what it is. You need to be able to recognize the dangers that are up there. You need to be able to analyze what's taking place, and then you need to be able to resolve. Now, I want to say this. When it comes to residential and rooftops, there's a few things that I'm afraid of. I'm going to go over my fears. First off, when I'm getting up on the ladder and I'm setting it up, I'm afraid that that ladder is going to move. I'm afraid that ladder is going to either move left or right. It's going to shift out from the bottom, a plethora of different things. And how do we mitigate these problems? How do we stop them from happening? Well, there's a few different things we can do. Number one, we can get a ladder stabilizer. That's the first thing that we want to do in this instance. In addition to that, you've probably seen plenty of videos, plenty of pictures, plenty of things from me talking about how I use a seat clamp to connect to the soffit, and then I use a Husky moving strap with a Velcro and a carabiner. I never say that right. Doesn't really matter. And I strap around one of the rungs of the ladder, and that pulls it close within the rooftop, holding it so it can't move back, left and right. Nothing. It's there. It's solid. Then on top of it, there's, depending on the type of ladders that you have, if you have an extension, you can have foot mounts for those to keep it even more secure, which these are really, really awesome, depending if you're cleaning. Window cleaners is really good for them because they could be cleaning on a slope. They could be cleaning on indoors on stairs. So that's very, very helpful. These are the different ways that a residential setting. In a commercial setting, you're not going to be really using a ladder to prevent any kind of, a ladder to get up on any rooftop. You probably have an aerial lift, but in these cases, you want to make sure that your ladder is stable. You want to make sure that it's not going to move. You want to put it in an area that is going to be good for it, so it doesn't have a problem. The first thing that you should do is have a plan. See, with every job, and I never hear about this, but with every job, there's a meeting. Yeah, me and Mike, we drink beer and we smoke pot. Yeah, definitely. We're blue collar men. I listen to a lot of heavy metal. I curse a lot, and I got a very foul mouth. And my beliefs are probably wild, and a lot of people don't agree with them. But I'll tell you what, though, I want to go home to my family. So it's very, very important to me. I know this doesn't get talked enough about. And again, I keep this quiet because out of respect for others, but it's very, very, very important that you have your PPE on point. Okay. And I'm going to get to that because there's a lot of things that we've changed recently that I've been quiet about and I haven't even talked about. Okay. So what happens is I'm out in Long Beach, I want to say, and we're cleaning solar panels at a school. Now, I'm going to tell you a little fun fact. This school happens to be one of the high schools. No, it was a middle school. It's a middle school that happens to be one of the schools, one of the levels on one of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater video games. So you can go check that out. But it's in Long Beach, period. So anyways, we're up there and there's these two rows are angled like this of these carport panels, and we're cleaning on the field, and we're on a 4-wheel drive scissor lift many, 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 many years ago. And we're cleaning. We've got our Solitech C1000, and we're cleaning the top, which is bam. If you ever cleaned with a rotary brush, the Solitech C1000, you know that thing can take off on it. It's got pull on it, man. It's got some grip. And let me tell you, if that thing goes off, it's scary as all expletive. Well, that happened. We're cleaning, and we're right up at the top row of panels, and that thing just decides to grip and drop on off and fall all the way down to the ground. Luckily, there was nobody there. You need to understand that there's a lot of scary things. I see posts about in the residential sector about how there are the homeowners and those out watching while you're cleaning. I don't really like that, and I prevent that. And I tell people, if I'm cleaning, you need to be inside. I get it. We're fun. It's like watching Discovery or anything like that, but that's not safe, and you need to go inside. And if there's anything that's underneath, below, I make sure nobody is there. There's the outside area as well. I'm going to get back to my commercial days. When I was in my commercial days, one of the first things we did was a walkthrough. We always did a walkthrough week before, whatever, so that we can create a plan of what we were doing. The day before, we go over there and we would take, because these are carports, we would take our tape and our cones, and we'd cone off the sections to make sure that there was nobody parking underneath. Side note, the company before us, 13, 14 years ago, they were cleaning them, and they actually were cleaning with pure water, and it got all over the cars. And the company that contracted these cleaners had to pay for the full detailing of every single one of these cars. It was ridiculous. So, if you're cleaning carports, make sure that nobody's underneath them. That's just cars. That's probably just common sense, but I'll just throw that out there. We go there and we tape everything off. We put caution tape all around cones and make sure that everything is safe. In addition, we create our game plan of how we're going to clean from left to right, from where we're going to put our truck, our lifts, the guys, who's going to be our ground guys, the guys and this and that. And yes, I do have different. I never go with this. I really don't. I don't talk enough about what I fully do. Uh, but let's discuss this. I do have something that comes along for a commercial. I know it's going to blow your guys' mind because I always say I just do residential, but I do commercial as well. Again, out of respect, there's a lot of people that do stuff. I know I'm painted as a person who likes to argue, and I do, and I do not deny that. But yeah, I have a lot of respect for individuals out there, and so I keep my mouth quiet on some things, and I let people do their thing. With the commercial, it is scary as hell having more people. The more people that I have on the more people that I have on there, the worse it gets. Hold on. Well, that's a good message. I like that. Things are going really, really good. For those that don't know, the my website, SPCFonline.com, I am selling solar panel cleaning equipment and supplies because this is what I am passionate about. It means a lot to me. Every one of these products I'm looking at deeply. There are some products that are on there that may not be there forever and might be pulled off. But definitely, you're welcome to go and check it out. And I hope we help you. I hope we can help you out. We are doing a free consultation. My phone number is on there. We have a contact thing. You can fill that out. We will contact you and speak to you directly to make sure that you're being taken care of. There's about 5 handfuls of individuals that are now working on this. I know I keep quiet and I don't like to do this. My team, whatever. I got people that are working with me. Cool, whatever. Does nothing for you. Actually, it will, but um, come and check us out. Okay, there's a lot of stuff on there. All right, so let's see, where was I? Let me take a drink of coffee here. Probably need to heat that up. All right, so this safety thing, let me go back over here and take a look because I actually want to talk a little bit more about this, and I've got something that I want to add. So give me a second here. The basics of rooftop safety. Yeah, as a seasoned expert in fall protection and safety protocols, and I say that because I go back to my commercial days, and a lot of you don't know that I have a safety manual for my company that I update every single year. This is not something you're doing. I highly, again, I implore you to do this. I suggest that you do this because things change. You should have your training. You should have your ISCA, you should have your cellular technologies, and you should have your OSHA 30. And there might be a few other things that you might want to pick up as well. And then also you need to have your own company training for your employees, the individuals that work for you, and you need to have a safety manual. Let me ask you this: for a lot of people that talk a lot of stuff and a lot of different things, do you have a safety manual in each one of your vehicles? No? Then take care of that today. Make sure you have your safety manual that has um, your standard protocols, your regulations. Make sure they have a list of phone numbers of who to call and what to happen and what to do in case there is an emergency or an accident or some sort of injury. Who has this? I know that we have a plan, and every single morning we have a meeting. In addition to other things that we talk about every single day when we go out, we discuss, hey, this is their safety protocols, quote unquote. Real quickly, we go through because everybody should know it by now. You should be reading your manual, and every one of your employees should have a copy of this, and they should know what they're doing. You should know what your expectations are. Set the expectations. So we go out and we have our meeting in the morning. We talk about these different things, and we make sure to discuss our game plan if something were to go wrong. This is definitely something that is, in my opinion, required of all safety manuals, safety trainings within the company. You need to know exactly where the back route is in case you get stuck. And I think in these instances, they talk about how the husband is always looking around, and then the wife is always just like da 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 da. There's a lot of videos of these. I love these couple videos. I know it's really dorky, but it's what I like. But there's always these videos of the husband who's they're at a restaurant. The husband's like looking for every exit and watching everybody. Same thing with safety. You need to be watching of these things all the time. So before I go any further, I wanna continue. Actually, I actually want to get back to this residential and this rooftop because of the fact that um, there was a post that was put up, and there was discussion about putting up like handrails, different types of things like this, scaffolding in a residential setting. This will never, ever, ever take place because it does take too long. And that it'll take the reason why it takes too long is not that it's too long. You don't want to do it. That's a ridiculous thing to say. With it constantly assumed by individuals. No, it's ridiculous to set it up for the time when it takes less to clean, less for the job. And that's where the issue comes in, and that's where a lot of cleaners decide that they don't care, that they're too busy. And it's I'm not saying it's understandable, but that's the situation. So let's be real about that. Damn, I have to go and trim my nose hairs, man. These things are itching like or tickling like a mofo. All right. So the thing about it is this guy is up on a rooftop. I told you the story about this guy who had some cleaners there. They had 4 or 5 cleaners up on there. The more cleaners you have, the more you have to watch. One guy fell backwards and went through a skylight. Now, what happens if you're up on the roof and you're feeling around because not all these roofs feel as secure as they should be, and you fall through a roof? Well, there were some people that were working up on a roof. These are roofers. Like I said, I don't like to get into this because a lot of people like to tell me what I know, who I am, and what I do. But before I did solar panel cleaning, I was a part of the tear off crew for a roofing company. Yes, I worked for a roofing company. Yes, I have training. No, I don't talk about it. Again, I stay respectful to others because they like to do their thing. But there's a lot of talk about uh, this person's not safe, that person's not safe. Trust me, you don't know. You can't pick out things from just a picture. And stop doing that and start worrying about yourself. Okay. If there's anybody in here who's totally perfect, there isn't. Trust me, there isn't. Okay. Oh, and I didn't mention one person too, because I want to mention everybody that does safety because I don't want anybody saying that I'm pointing to one different person or I am biased or anything like that. Let's also make mention that there is Mike Draper out there. Michael Draper does something. Okay. Any one of these individuals can give you some instruction on stuff. Spend one, get one? No, if you can, get them all, get all the training. What one person says, another person will say it differently. So we're up on a residential rooftop, and I can't tell you how many times I've been up on these rooftops and I feel the roof sagging. There's a problem. Again, do your visual inspections. If you took the time to get up in the morning, to get coffee, to have a meeting, to have a game plan, to have routes, to figure out a way to get out of stuff, then it's time to go ahead and think about why you're up on the rooftop and think about how you're going to be safe. So now we move towards that. So now we've gotten up on the rooftop. Our ladder has a ladder stabilizer. We're safe. We got it clamped in. But now we get on the rooftop, and how do we stay safe? Not just from falling over, but falling down on the middle of it in case the roof is bad. Well, the first thing that we do is the visual inspection, but we're going to be walking around. So I'm not going to get in too much right now about the harnesses or the specific type of harness that you should be using. This is a general overall discussion. Again, we're bridging the side from the academic side to the real world application. This is in no way, shape, or form to take away from any type of or overdo any type of education or certification program that's out there. I will say it again: get them all. Get your solar technologies. Get your ISCA. Get your OSHA 30 hour. Get them all. Get them all. Right? Don't be stupid. This whole thing. This is really, like I said, it's not the Bloods versus the Crips. We're solar panel cleaners. Okay. You think anybody in the painting world? Excuse me. Yeah. Did you guys know I did commercial painting for a while? No. No, that's okay. I worked on some heavy big buildings. I worked on some big stuff, and I've been up in the air, and I've seen people fall and get hurt. Okay, I don't like to talk about this because I respect some people that are talking about it, but we need to discuss it. So one of the things that is asked is, where do you tether up to? Where do you connect that harness to when you're up on a residential rooftop or on a commercial rooftop? Now, here's the thing about the residences is the roofers, you really need to look to the roofers. If you're trying to figure out what to do, don't look to the solar panel cleaners. I don't do that. I don't even bother with checking what another solar panel cleaner does. And in fact, in my eyes, in my mind, I don't even really care. I don't care what not one other solar panel cleaner is doing, not in this entire world. I don't care. I look to roofers and I look to installers. Why? I shouldn't even have to answer that question, so I'm not going to. That's just ridiculous in itself. What do roofers do? What do installers do? Most of the time, there's something already up there. There's a tether line already up there that you don't even know about, and that's totally fine. There's a whole bunch of different types of anchors that can be installed. There's temporary ones, there's permanent ones, and that is between you and your customer and how you want to deal with it. That's not a part of this. But harnessing up, I want to talk about a few different things, and again, this is in between. So, take it for what you want. But the question is, where do you harness up on a rooftop, a residential rooftop? And this is a fun one, I think, because of the situation of where so many things are told to me. If I ask around and I say, hey, where do you tether up from? The answers are ridiculous. No, 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 I take that back. They're not ridiculous. There's just a ridiculous amount of them. There are those that, and this goes to old school type of thinking, and I believe that none of this has to do with solar panel cleaning. You got to take us out of it, really and honestly. If we're talking about safety, when it comes to rooftops and fall protection and that type of stuff, you have to take the solar panels out of it and forget about that for a moment. Okay. Um, let's see here. Dang it, I lost my place. Let me get a drink of coffee here. No problem. We'll get right back to it. No, you know what? I didn't have any time to do this, and this is just straight off of the dome. The solar panels, and the question is, where should you hook up to? Where should you put your harness to? Now, there is one thing here that I want to first talk about is connecting to the array. Right now, and again, I'm not telling anybody to do anything specific, and I'm not saying this is better or worse or anything like that, not whatsoever. We're discussing things. One of the things that is being done is people are taking their harness and their tether line, and they're taking it's called a C-strap, and they go like this, and it goes around the bracket of the solar panel, which should hold about 3,000 to 5,000 pounds, and I believe it's 3,000. And with that, it goes like a little clip like this, it comes through and pulls. It's pretty strong, and then you clip onto that. You should check it out. It's kind of cool looking. And then you're either to have your tether line, which is about 6 feet to your harness, or you can have a 25-foot rope. There's a lot of people that buy the bucket harnesses. They're about $75 to $99, depending on where you buy them. I believe it's only like $75 actually at Home Depot. We've now learned that that isn't exactly the safest harness to have when cleaning solar panels. See, now we're going to get into a little bit more. See, when you're up there, you have to consider things like the arc flash and stuff like that. Now, although I was able to find a lot of information about people falling from 4 feet or more, and a lot of people getting hurt on scissor lifts, ladders, and things like this. There's a lot of people that get hurt from working on a ladder. Working on a ladder is the most dangerous place, to work, and that's why I don't really suggest it whatsoever. And I will throw in this that you need to know that the best way to clean a solar panel when it comes to residential is up on the roof. You can get the best clean. You're not going to get a really good clean if you clean from the bottom. That is the simple fact. Safety aside, everything aside, you got to do that. Some people go, oh, but wait a minute. We also have to consider, before we go that far, people's minds some of these individuals get so far ahead of this. And it's because we're showing you a fear, and then we want to sell you this fear back to you, but just with a little bit of risk, or excuse me, with a little less risk, but the fear is still there. but if I can give you just a little bit of risk less, then I could sell it to you as a product. I can go off about that. Um, So as we know now that there are harnesses and boots that you should be wearing that can protect you from the arc flash. These are the type of harnesses that you should be looking into that can protect you from being electrocuted. Put your energy into finding this type of PPE. Is it cheap? Nope, it is not. And I don't care where you purchase it from. Does not matter. I believe that the throw this out here. I'm going to throw it out there. I believe that 3M has the no, you know what? It's not them. There is a harness that will protect you from the electric arc. Now, let's be, I want to add to this as well. Just because you have boots or you have harness or you have a water-fed pole that necessarily says that it will protect you from an electric shock doesn't mean you're 100% safe up there. Like I said, we had already discussed 50 minutes into this. I'm going over an hour on this one, 46 minutes. It is dangerous being up on a rooftop. I went over how getting up on the ladder can be dangerous. Oh, I missed one. Let me actually add this story real quick. So I go over to a customer's house and they have an extension ladder. This is an aluminum light extension ladder, and it's sitting on the side of their house. We go over there once every 2 weeks to clean the windows and once every 6 months to clean the panels. And then we do the gutters once a year as well. So we're constantly there at this house, excuse me. And this is generally how it is for a lot of my customers. My customers are not just, hey, I'm going to come here and do this. It's usually we do a plethora of things, a whole slew of different services that we do for a customer. Anyways, we get there and the customers, I asked them one day, I say, hey, what's up with that ladder that's been sitting on the side of your house forever and a day? And my customer says to me, well, that's my brother's who left it here. He's passed away not too long ago, and it's just there. Would you like to take it? So I did. I took that ladder and I put it up on my ladder rack in my truck, and we drove around. And about maybe a month later, I came to a bird proofing job, and it was at a house where these are the best bird proofing jobs, where the solar panels, the install is right at the edge of the roof. Like there's nowhere to walk. So you have to use a big extension ladder to get up there, especially when it's a 2-story. If it's a 1-story, it's no big deal. But they love to do this. The installers love to do this for the 2 stories. So I'm getting my extension ladder, this aluminum one. I'm like, this is light because our other one, it's heavy. It's a badass extension ladder that I spent a lot of money on, $500 and something. It's really cool. It's got a stabilizer on there. It's got the feet supports and all that kind of stuff. So it's safe. It's a badass. However, though, it's heavy and I cannot handle it by myself. I just can't. So we get this aluminum, and I can carry this one by myself, even though I have a person working with me. I want to go over my faults. And the reason why I want to go over my faults because I know each one of us have them. And these faults come into place when we're rushing things. You don't have a game plan, when you don't have a visual inspection, when you don't have a backout plan. You don't have a tag out, lockout, tag out. Doesn't matter. When you don't have these things in place, when you don't take your time to do a visual inspection, when you just are like, we got to rush, we got to go through it, which happens when you're down a man, when you're an hour behind, when you're this and that, you start to make these different types of mistakes. And this will happen to everybody. The more time you spend out there, 2,000-3,000 hours a year out in the field cleaning, the more time you spend out there, the more possibility and chances that you could get hurt. So hold on here. Let me drop over here because I actually want to make sure that we are learning something here. Okay. Now I am going to. Oh shoot! Sorry about that. That is my daughter singing in the background. This microphone picks up a lot. So I want to jump back real fast to OSHA, um, and because this is the main thing that we go off here. Now it's different in different parts of the world, but the main thing is working over 4 feet. Okay, so let's talk about that working over that 4 feet, and then go higher and higher and higher. Then I can tie this together even better. Now, when we talked about when you get in the get we talked about having that first meeting in the day. You get to the job, you have a pre-meeting, you make sure everybody understands what's going on. Everybody has the training, the safety training for your company. Everybody has a safety manual. Everybody knows what to do just in case there's an accident or an injury or anything like that. They know who to call and what to do. You've got your ladders, your aerial lifts. Everybody who uses the aerial lift has a certificate and is authorized to use those. You've done walkarounds with all of your equipment. That's right. How many people check their equipment daily? Check your equipment. Getting back to this job. I've got this aluminum ladder, this extension ladder, and I'm like so happy that I could just put it up here because this is a bird deterrent job and bird proofing. And we're 2 stories up, and this install is right at the edge of the rooftop. So I go to put it up, and it's up there. It's pretty high, and I've got it laying against the wall of the house. The soffit doesn't come out that far enough, so I'm lucky. And then I'm able to get up there and be right in front of the panels, and I can put the mesh right there. Everything looked beautiful. I was so excited, so thrilled. We were going to save a lot of time by using this aluminum ladder, this light ladder, as opposed to our extension ladder that weighs 1,000,000,000 pounds. I go to step on the first rung, set my foot goes on the second one, and I go to take my foot off of the first to place it up on the third rung, and it collapses. I am not kidding you when I say I had a heart attack. I cried that day because I was sure that I was close to death. Had I gotten up on that rooftop and, or excuse me, up on that ladder to do that and it dropped down, I would have gotten hurt big time. Now, there's a few things that I've noticed that I've seen that people do at the bottom to support their ladder. I've seen people put in 2x4s and then nail them into whatever, and that's on you and the customer. I'm not telling anybody to do that. I'm just saying these are things that people have done. There are different products out there that you can put underneath to hold your ladder. These are things that you might want to consider in addition. Now, going back to checking your equipment, I failed to do the proper thing to check my equipment to make sure that it was correct and that it was working properly. I chose to take a ladder from a customer from their backyard, put it up on my ladder rack, drive around for about a month, and then get up on top of it. And no, I did not test it. And that was one of the dumbest things I've ever done. I think about that sometimes when I'm out cleaning or when my guys are out cleaning and they're up on a rooftop like that or on a ladder situation. I think dropping down could be so scary. Again, it's not like I said earlier, it's not the fall that'll get you. It's hitting on the ground. It's that little 8 pounds that it's going to break your collarbone. It is that hitting that ground that all of a sudden might not break a bone, but your insides are still falling and they hit your body and explode. Did you know that? Did you know that if you fall from a certain height, hit the ground, that your insides can they like bounce inside your body and explode? Can you imagine your intestines just bursting open, your liver? Yeah, this kind of crap can happen, man. Voice got a little too high on that one. So ladder drops and I'm scared out of my mind and I'm like, man, this is I almost called the day. I almost said that's it for the day. We're not doing anything. We're not doing any bird proofing. But I stepped back and made a game plan and I said, hey, listen, we actually took a break. We took a lunch break at that point. And when we came back, we used the correct ladder. We had the ladder stabilizer. We had it hooked up and we did the right thing. Which, by the way, if you think putting somebody at the bottom of a ladder and standing on that bottom rung is going to fully support you, it's not going to. You could still get very, very hurt. Okay, so recognizing these types of situation takes a little bit of planning. I like to go over the jobs the day before. If you ever want to get ahead of any of your competitors, then what you want to do is make sure that you look at things the night before, prepare yourself for the next day. Always be up early. Always be the first one. Always try to yeah, just go by those 3 things and you're all good. But the first thing that I like to do before we start the day is the night before. So before we get to that meeting, before we get to the pre-meetings of each job at the job, before we check any of the equipment, before we make sure that everybody's up to date on stuff, I like to take because it's like I said, it's my responsibility. So I go online and it's very simple with the residential or even commercial. With the commercial, it's even easier because you should have already done a walkthrough. Like it's very weird to go like a couple days before residential and do a walkthrough. That's not going to happen. However, though, thanks to Google, you can look at their rooftop and you can actually probably look at it from a street view, which will give you a lot of insight to it. Then when you get there, you should have some sort of already an opinion or an idea of what you're going to be doing or how the job is going to go. But then once you get there, you assess the situation. Again, let's say it with me now: recognize, analyze, and resolve. So you've recognized that there are safety issues out there. There are plenty of ways to get hurt, whether it be from the ground while getting up on the ladder or being up on the rooftop. So we're going to end this all with the rooftop. Yeah, it's about 4 o'clock. I'm going to keep this going because this one I definitely have a lot more that I want to talk about. So the thing about it that is really, really scary is in that moment when I dropped down, it wasn't again the fall, it was when you hit. So when it finally stopped and I was only 3.5 to 4 feet up, I hit my shins on that rung. And they kind of cry out like a baby because it hurt. It is in these moments now in that ladder. We can't have any kind of there's no way you're harnessing up. So you need to make sure that you have your proper PPE when it comes to boots, your headgear, eye protection, gloves. Let's go back a little bit on the story about how I fell from the second story to the first story. The ladder slipped out for me, and because of the title on there, I cut my finger right along here. Let's see if I get up here. I don't think you'll be able to see it. Yeah, you won't be able to, but basically I had a huge cut right here, like a little smiley face, but bleeding and blood just flowing. Have hand gear. You need to protect your hands. Make sure you have the right boots. I don't always wear shorts, but when I wear shorts, I actually wear knee pads. 46 years old, man. It gets, if I get down on my knees working on doing bird proofing and you got your knees down there, that stuff hurts, bro. Sometimes I actually went to a thrift store and got I purchased a couch, a couple of them actually, a couple times, and because they were cheap. And we immediately threw out the couches, left the couches there and let them throw them out. But we took the pillows and we've used these to sit on to give a little bit of comfort. That's not to save you. In addition to that, we stay harnessed up. Going back to where do we harness? Are you going to harness into the install? Now there are people who are doing this. Going back to the type of harness. What kind of harness do you have on there? We've now learned that you need to have a harness that protects you from being electrocuted. I mentioned how there's a lot of anchors. Usually there are anchors underneath the flashing area and something like that in the area that you will be able to connect to. And if not, you can connect one. Depending on your customer, you can install an anchor point to keep you safe. Now, there are also temporary anchor points. There are those that are connecting two ropes, or excuse me, a rope in two areas with your tether being able to slide back and forth, and that's another different thing. The eave is actually, when you're in the eave, that little area, that's actually one of the most dangerous areas to be in and where you can fall the easiest. It's important to make sure that you are all protected and your whole body is protected. So make your list. All right, put together everything that you need. Don't go short on how much of your budget, how much you're spending on this. Make sure you have your full certifications. Make sure you go through all the proper training. Make sure all your guys are properly trained. Make this list. Make sure that you have your visual inspection. Make sure that every single day your equipment is being checked and tested. Make sure that you're checking all this before you start the job. Make sure you have your safety guides, make sure they are in every single vehicle and everybody knows their routes to get out. Um, you know, the thing about it is what's I just want to say this real quick is it's kind of sucks right now with the streaming service that I'm using. I've used this for a very long time and I was able to go straight into the groups and now I have to go through YouTube, which is going to be changing. I don't see the questions or a whole lot of things. So let me just scan over here for a second. I have a feeling might be some questions that I need to answer. No, we're all good. Well, thanks for not commenting. That makes me feel very good and important. All right, guys. I'm gonna bring this down here to an end here real soon here. All right. So I think to wrap this up, the what I want to do is I want to leave this conversation open. This isn't a final discussion, and this isn't a be all end all. Again, I cannot say this strongly enough. What one person says, another person might say differently. If you have a certificate, make sure you have all the certificates. Make sure that you're fully trained. Make sure that when you get up on every single rooftop, you have a game plan so that you're able to see what's going on. I like to designate individuals to do specific things. So when it comes to the visual inspection, I have one person who's doing a visual inspection of the array, the system, the solar panels, and then I have somebody else, usually like me, who is doing an assessment of the job site, making sure that everything is safe, making sure that we are all tethered up and that everybody's doing everything the safe way. Now, I want to say this again, do not make the mistake of looking at anybody's picture and assuming that you know exactly what they're doing, because you don't. You don't know what's taking place. You need to focus on yourself. Take some of the stuff that I've said today and add to it, make it better. If you have any kind of questions, comments, concerns, or anything else you'd like to add to it, I would like to hear it. We're just touching on this today, and we will continue this conversation. I wanted to go over the history of the solar panel cleaning robot. There is some stories that I think are amazing that not a lot of people know about. At least I don't believe that a lot of people know about. I could be wrong on that. But did you know how many different solar panel cleaning robots there are out there? Do you know the actual history of the stories of when they first popped onto the scene? Man, it is some good stuff. So I definitely want to go over that real quick. No, thank you for giving a comment. I know that I was really, really big in the podcast and then I stopped and things got a little bit slow. And I know as we stay consistent at this, there will be more and more people popping in and everybody is invited. If you would like to join any type of stream, any week and hop in and add your voice or your opinion, your 2 cents, I want to hear it. I want everybody else to hear it. There's nothing that I want to run from. If you think that I'm doing something incorrectly, don't talk behind my back like a wuss. And I want to say something even harsher, but if you don't agree with me, bro, tell me. Tell me where you don't agree with me. Show me where I'm wrong. Not because I want you to prove that I'm wrong. Help me, help others, okay? I don't know everything, man. I'm just trying to open a discussion. We're just trying to bridge this between this academic side of all these different programs that are out there and certification programs from actual real world application, man. I'll be truthful with you. With all the different trainings that I've had, it is not the same. No roof is the same. No roof is the same. There are so many projects that I've been on in all these years, over a decade, and every one of them has been basically different. They're not all the same. It can be very, very different. Guys, thank you so much for joining me this week on Solar Panel Cleaning Friends Mastermind class. Um, Again, I want to emphasize that you guys are welcome to join me every single week. You're welcome to come on here, share, talk. We're having a discussion. This is not a be-all, end-all. We're going to make this better. The thing about the solar panel cleaning industry is that we need to unite together and stop having this whole thing of it's like a blood and Crips gang thing. where, if you have this brand, if you took this training, if you did this, then you got to back this person. No, you don't. Listen, if you took ISCA, this doesn't mean you have to be just Steve Williams. And if you took Solar Technologies, you don't have to be just Carla Dawson. I know it's going to blow people's mind. And some of you like to stick on certain products and certain brands like you're a gang. Stop. You're a solar panel cleaner. That's it. Stop being a glorified solar panel cleaner. All right. Nobody, not even me, is super special because we clean panels. We do it as a job to make money for our live and for our families. If there's anybody out there who's cleaning panels to be cool, just put it down and stop doing that, because you're wasting your damn time. There's no solar panel cleaner that is cool. All right, cleaning panels isn't cool. You're not awesome because you clean panels. So let's get off of that egotistical thought process. Okay, we do this to make money to take care of our families. We want to go home safe. Worry about yourself. Cleaners, worry about yourself out there. Worry about your men. It is your responsibility, men or women. Let's be inclusive, whatever. Worry about your employees and your workers out there. Make sure that they are safe. Make sure it is your responsibility, yours, not mine, not Solar Panel Clean Friends, not Carla Dawson, not Solar Technologies, not Steve Williams, not any international association. You are the one that is responsible. So with that, I want to take this next week before we go in our next Wednesday show, where I am going to talk about the history of solar panel cleaning robots, because I got some amazing stories that I don't believe have been shared in the industry. But I want you to take this next week, and as your homework, I want you to go ahead and review your safety manual. I want you to go over that, and maybe it needs to be updated. If you haven't updated it for 2024, do that. I'm going to be dropping some stuff this week throughout the week in the group about some ideas that I've gotten online. Some other people that we don't hear from enough influencers outside of our industry that are doing this kind of stuff. We're a home service business, and we need to look to other people outside of our industry instead of just a few individuals. There's a plethora of stuff that is going on out there. So I'm going to take the time to share with you guys as much as I can. In addition to that, I'm going to give you guys some links to some places that can help you, and some individuals that can help you to develop the proper safety manual for your company or for a specific project. All right. With that, I'm out of here. I'm gonna get going. I'm happy that people joined in this week. This is gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. It was my fault for stopping the podcast, but life gets in the way, and you start doing stuff, and that's how it is. However, though, I'm gonna come back, and it's gonna be bigger than before. The plans that I have for the new podcast are going to blow any other podcast done before, or any duplicate type of podcast, out of the water. I feel that there are so much that is not being touched within this industry, and I feel that it's just not fun enough, man. The fun has been taken out for a lot of us, and we're going to get back to that. We're going to get back to listening to other cleaners. And not just those at the top. We're going to talk with each other. Again, like I said, if anybody wants to join me on any one of these Wednesdays, I can have up to 10 people with me on this stream. Up to 10 people. So hit me up and be like, Chris, I want to join in. And guess what? I'll send you a link, and as long as you have your phone, some sort of video, and then a microphone, and you don't have to have a microphone. If you got a headset with a microphone, that works too. But don't be joining on with just your phone and then do speaker. Don't do that, because then we get an echo. If you're in an area that doesn't have good connection, you're outside, it's all, don't waste the time. Don't do that. But those that would like to come on, would like to talk with me, discuss with me, we're not arguing. We're not going to be arguing. But I want somebody on here who disagrees with me. Who doesn't agree with me? Who is going to say, hey, Chris, this is what we should be doing. Open this discussion with me. Help me out. Help me make this discussion even better than what it should be. It should be not just those who agree with me, but it should be those who disagree with me as well. Come on the show. talk with me. Let's work this out. Let's find out exactly what's the best way. What's going to happen is by opening the dialogue and talking with each other and opening the doors, we're going to find things that we probably wouldn't have had before. We're going to put ourselves in a position to learn from each other, because that is, like I said, if one cleaner says, hey, you should do it like this, trust me, and the other cleaner is going to say, well, I should probably do it like this. What works for one cleaner definitely does not work for another cleaner. So we got to bring it all in together. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for joining me this week. I appreciate every single one of you. If you're not a part of the the Facebook group, Solar Panel Cleaning Friends, please go check it out. I am even going to give attention to some other areas of solar panel cleaning industry as well. If you haven't and you're on Facebook and you're a part of the Solar Panel Cleaning Friends Facebook group, why don't you go check out the Solar Cleaners Network? Yeah, go check them out. Why don't you go check out ISCA, and there's quite a few other different groups as well. Go check them out. And everybody, let's be friends and let's stop this whole gang mentality, okay? This isn't one brand versus the other. This is this group of cleaners versus that cleaners. This isn't the Bloods versus Crips, man. It's getting so ridiculously annoying. And if you hear another cleaner talking about another cleaner or a group or something like that, stand up for your fellow cleaners. Stop being a bunch of wusses and stand up and say, whoa, stop. First off, I don't like this whole thing of talking about people behind their back, because that's disrespectful and weak of me. And second, I want to lift people up instead of bringing them down. Okay? Let's bring each other up. That's why I want to say, hey, check it out. If you haven't, go join Solar Cleaners Network. That's something nobody, probably wouldn't think that they would hear me say, but I don't know if you know it, but Kim's doing some really good stuff for this industry. A lot of people are. We don't always have to agree with each other to bring each other up. We're solar panel cleaners, and at the end of the day, we want to go home to our family safely. So actually, last thing before we get out of here, like I said, I'm going to drop some stuff about some safety manuals. I'm actually going to drop something about a visual inspection. And okay, here it is. Two different things. Number one, I definitely want to talk about the history of the solar panel cleaning robots, because I think it's important. We're all the way over here, and it's very, very small of how we've gone. There's only been solar panel cleaning robots are less than a decade old. Okay. And a lot of that is very, very interesting to me. There's a lot of reproductions out there. There's a lot of duplicates in products. There's a lot of crazy talk about what is the best thing to use and what is not the right thing to use. Yeah, I don't want to get too far into it, man. I'll open my mouth and say some stuff that I probably shouldn't. So I'm going to try to keep it fair and try to keep it cool with everybody. This is a good industry to be in. I want to get, I should probably get some shout outs too, just to be cool and on the good side of stuff. I already gave one to Kim Verduck. I always get his last name wrong. I want to give a shout out definitely to, I should be giving a shout out first off to Carla Dawson. But anybody wants to know, yeah, that's my homegirl. She's from right here in San Diego. And yeah, we do talk to each other. Why wouldn't we? We're solar panel cleaners and we work together on some stuff. I also want to get, I want to give a shout out and some other different people too. Roman and Stefan, a solar Clino. Great guys. I like speaking to them. Solar Clino is a great robot. So is the High Cleaner. There's a lot of different robots out there. There's, like I said, they all have their different values and benefits, and they all have good things. Find one that works for you. Find the equipment that works for your job. I want to give a shout out to Sean Gavin over at Tucker. Sean Gavin is a pretty nice guy, man. This guy's pretty calm from Colorado. Him and his wife are good people that if you follow Sean Gavin, which if you don't, you should. I mean, the guy, outside of cleaning, which again, some of you guys need to take yourselves out of this cleaning stuff and all this ridiculousness and just relax, okay? Calm down. Sean Gavin always has something positive to say, almost like every single morning. I love to wake up, drink my coffee in the morning, and if you don't know, I wake up around like 4:30 to 5 o'clock to start my day. I get my coffee, and then I like to browse on the different social media platforms to see what's going on. One of the things that I like doing in the morning is taking the time when I'm sitting in my chair and I'm looking out the window, looking at the the outside perspectives. I like to read positive stuff from people, and Sean Gavin happens to be one of them. Sean, if you're out there and you happen to hear this, please continue to be as positive as you are. I love that you're so calm and collective about stuff. And solar panel cleaning aside, products or any other thing like that, your positive outlook on stuff, I like that big time. I want to give a shout out to Chris and Alex Lamborghinis. Now, and as I'm doing this, this is just there's no hey, this is what I've got going, and this is who I'm part of. No, I just want to mention some people that are just in part of this industry. This again, this is no gang stuff. It's not. I'm for this part, so I'm just going to talk about these people. Look, WCR is a great company, window cleaning resource. They've been around for quite a while now, and if you don't know about the window cleaning industry, that's totally okay. That's awesome. You should go check it out. If you do not watch the Squeegee Life podcast, you should. I think it's on Wednesdays, Tuesdays, or Wednesdays. I think I should be watching it really soon here. Go watch that because those guys are amazing. TJ Gilbert and Mark Tanner are some of the funniest people on earth. And they got two other guys on there, and they're pretty cool as well. But Mark Tanner is amazing. I want to give a crazy shout out to the window cleaners of the year. That would be Frank Rave and Eddie Stewart. Frank Rave is an amazing individual from Haarlem, Netherlands, who I've been working on a documentary for, but I've had to put it on, scale it back. I'm so busy with other things. Eddie Stewart is one of the funniest individuals in exterior cleaning. Hilarious. Eddie Stewart cracks me up. I'm definitely going overboard, but yeah, forget it. We're just having a little bit of fun at this point. You don't have to watch a show. We're no longer talking about safety. I'm just having fun spinning things out there. Eddie Stewart's a hilarious guy. He's hilarious. Okay. Wrapping this all up, just naming some guys out there to check out before we go. I just want to give a few shouts out to people that are really, really cool. Again, if you're or not again, one thing that yeah, screw it. Who's on LinkedIn? Have you guys gotten on LinkedIn yet? Most of you are, but if you're not, you need to get in LinkedIn and get into the crowd. That is a great place to meet a lot of different cleaners around the world. And there's a lot more commercial cleaners within the confines of LinkedIn, social media. So if you go on there, you're going to find a lot of cleaners that are doing some amazing different things. Manuel Mateo, if you don't know who he is, this guy is I like watching this guy. He runs a tractor. He does large scale utility. Is set on the different brands that he uses, and that works for him. And he's part of a whatever, but an amazing cleaner. He doesn't talk that much. I don't hear from him all that much, but I like seeing the stuff that he posts up. He's a really good guy. There's a lot of other different cleaners out there. There's a lot of different residential, commercial, large-scale utility cleaners. All of you are all important. There's not a specific level. You don't go from one to go to this because if that were the case, it'd be all screwed up. Okay, it's stupid. Let me tell you, I started off with residential, started off with commercial for 5 years and then went into residential, and I still do commercial. I just don't like to talk about it because there's individuals who do their thing. And out of respect, I keep my mouth closed and try to do my thing. Well, I try to keep my mouth closed. All right. Once again, thank you for joining. I am Chris Vergin, your glorious host or whatever. Go join the group. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like this video. Leave your comments. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, send me an email at solarpanelcleanfriends@gmail.com. Get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. We have another podcast that's going to be coming. I want to bring it in on the weekends. This, however, though, has got to be so big and so huge. I am going to be doing something that no one has done yet. And what a surprise. I've got an idea to do something that hasn't been done before. I'm not saying I'm the first, I'm the biggest, I'm the baddest. I'm just saying I like to do stuff and I like to have a lot of fun. And boy, do I have an idea that is going to blow everything out of the freaking water. Well, at least I hope so. I love every single one of you. You guys are super, super awesome. It has been an amazing stream. This is the second one, the second episode of the masterclass. We will be here every single week on Wednesdays from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. We will get bigger and bigger. We will talk about more stuff. Next week, I don't care what's being posted. We're not going to be talking about anything from the group like that. We are going to get into the history of solar panel cleaning robots. And when I say this is going to be an episode that you're going to have a lot of fun and you're going to enjoy, I don't say that lightly. I mean that. Guys, thank you so much for giving me any of your time, your attention. I appreciate it. I hope that I've helped you learn at least a little something today, or opened your eyes, or started a discussion. Again, if anybody disagrees, tell me. I want to hear. If you don't like what I'm saying, if you think that I should say something, if you think something should be added, please let me know. Reach out to me, okay? Real quick, I do want to show you guys one thing before I get out of here. And let me see if I can pop this up right here. You guys want to see something really cool? This is cool. Hold on here. Pop it up. Make sure share on the model and not cancel. Oh, I think I hit cancel. Okay, I really want to show you guys this too. Check this out. Listen, I want to go over something and show you guys how to create something like this, and I'm probably going to do it through the week. But this is not, these numbers aren't real, so don't worry, you're not learning anything. But this is my solar panel cleaning calculator. I wanted to show this to you guys, and I probably want to do an episode on this alone, on how to create your own solar panel cleaning calculator. This thing's really awesome because it allows me to either check the amount for the gas mileage, which I think is important, or the employees. Or another thing that I got here is that I like to figure out exactly if I have 3,000 panels and I'm going to work one day and it's 8 hours per day, how many panels I should be cleaning per hour and per minute. I break down different things. This isn't a full one. In fact, I got one that's even crazier than this. I like to figure out my profit margin. There's a lot of these different things that are important to you. So I'm going to teach you guys how to create your own spreadsheet just like this, your own pricing calculators. And as you can see, there are a lot of different other tabs here. So there's a lot of different stuff that goes into this. That's something you guys would really, really like, man. I'm telling you what. All right. Thank you so much for showing up. Yeah, whatever. I can't talk anymore. I'm done. I got to get off of this and go have some fun with my family. Thank you so much. Solar Panel Cleaning Friends, I'm Chris Vergin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see you next time.